Well, the protest movement against corporate greed and social inequality, which started in the United States, is spreading. Demonstrations inspired by the Occupy Wall Street movement are taking place in cities around the world. Now, in Australia, around 2,000 people protested outside the country's central bank in Sydney. In Hong Kong, several hundred protesters took over a square in the heart of the financial district, with similar protests taking place in Tokyo, Manila, Seoul and Taipei. There are also protests in Europe. A big crowd has gathered, as you can see, in London. They've been blocked from occupying the square outside the London Stock Exchange. And over in Rome, there's been some violence, with at least 2 cars set on fire and shop windows smashed there. Well, Claudio Lavanga is in the Italian capital and joins me now live from there. Claudio, I know the organisers were expecting huge numbers of protesters there in Rome. What's the latest on that?
Well, surely what started as part of a global movement for global change has suddenly become an exhibition of national rage. As you said, there were thousands of Italians expected, about 100,000 to 200,000 turned up here in Rome with 750 buses, with trains and planes. They came from all over Italy. It started peacefully, but then about 40 or 50 violent demonstrators, it is believed that there were black blocs, or those hooded militants that have infiltrated demonstrations before, at least here in Italy, started, as you said, to set cars on fire, smashing windows of banks and of shops. Well, we just heard now a couple of loud explosions in the distance. There is also some black smoke. I don't know whether you can see it there, rising just behind the Colosseum. We will have to check with what that is exactly, and we will find out very soon. But there is 1,500 police patrolling this city. Walking around Rome this morning, it looked like it was a police state. All the roads are blocked to the city centre, but they were expecting trouble. Well, trouble they got, surely.
Clearly not an entirely peaceful protest, but what is it that protesters want? Is it that the mood in the US against corporate greed and bankers has caught on in Italy, or are there other reasons?
Well, there are a number of groups that converged here in Rome for this demonstration. Many of them, of course, most of them are anti-capitalist groups, and they are imitating the Occupy Wall Street movement, the indignants in Spain, as you mentioned. But the generic feeling here, this is also a demonstration against Silvio Berlusconi and his government. There was a cardboard coffin with Silvio Berlusconi's name on it that was burned just here, meters away from where I'm standing, showing that Italians here think that before you get global change, you need local change, and that is to get rid of Silvio Berlusconi and his government, which on Friday survived yet another confidence vote. Surely.
Claudio, thanks very much indeed for that update. Claudio Lavanga in Rome there.